Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on Topstar, channel 106 on Kenstream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel at Camnet TV. Here are the headlines in our news tonight. 19-year-old teen kills father over phone charger, flees home. DEC continues investigations after MALANJI YAMBA convictions, says higher profile people may also be linked to the case. Government and family of late President Lungu begin formal discussions to resolve burial impasse. In international news, Ukraine moves to ban Orthodox Church over Moscow ties. And in sports news, KANGWA rallies fans ahead of Morocco clash. I will be back with the details shortly after this break. Don't go away. With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. A 19-year-old teenager of Lusaka's Bauleni compound is on the run after allegedly killing his father following a quarrel over a phone charger. The incident happened on September 4th, 2025, around 19 hours at their home in Kapandula area. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the suspect, identified as Collins Lungu, is reported to have attacked his father, 63-year-old Chizola Lungu, after being stopped from using the phone charger. The altercation turned violent when Collins allegedly beat his father with fists before hitting him with a stool in the abdomen and head, leaving him unconscious. Mr. Hamonga explains that after the assault, the suspect threatened to return and finish off his father before fleeing the scene. The victim was rushed to Bauleni Clinic and later referred to the University Teaching Hospital UTH, where he died while receiving treatment. His body has since been deposited in the UTH mortuary awaiting post-mortem. A docket of case has since been opened and investigations instituted, while a manhunt for the suspect has been launched. Police are now that could lead to the arrest of the suspect. Police have since cautioned members of the public against resorting to violence in resolving domestic disputes, stressing that such acts only destroy families and communities.
Woodlands Police Station through Bauleni Police Post today, the 5th of September 2025 at 10:30 hours, received a report of murder from Medi Lungu, age 17, of Kapandula area and Bauleni compound, who reported that her father, Chizola Lungu, age 63, was murdered by his son, Collins Lungu, age 19, of the same address. The incident is alleged to have occurred on the 4th of September 2025, around 19 hours in Bauleni compound. Brief facts are that on the material date and time, the accused person returned home and got his father's phone charger, intending to charge his phone. The father stopped him, stating that the charger might be damaged. This angered the accused person, who then began exchanging words with the deceased. The altercation escalated and the suspect assaulted his father using fists before grabbing a stool which he used to hit the victim in the abdomen and head, causing him to fall on the ground unconscious. It is alleged that after the assault, the suspect told the victim that he would return later to finish him off, after which he left the house. The police were alerted and visited the scene of crime, where they learned that the victim had already been taken to Bauleni Clinic and later referred to UTH, where he unfortunately died while receiving treatment. The body has been deposited in University Hospital mortuary awaiting post-mortem. A docket of case has been opened and investigations have been instituted. No arrests have been made so far, but a manhunt for the suspect has been launched.
The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, says it is continuing with investigations following the jailing of former Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph MALANJI and former Secretary to the Treasury Fredson YAMBA, as more money linked to the case remains unaccounted for, and that is a high chance of other high-profile individuals being caught. DEC Director General Nelson Banda, at a media briefing today, described the convictions as a major milestone in Zambia's fight against corruption and the recovery of stolen public funds. Mr. Malanji was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment with hard labor for offenses involving over 11 million United States dollars, which he used to buy 2 helicopters and several properties. Mr. Yamba, on the other hand, was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor for bypassing financial controls and misappropriating public funds. He explained that the case reviewed the wide-reaching impact of transition of financial crimes, including the use of the presidential jet to move millions of dollars in cash from Turkey for illicit purposes. The Director General said the convictions are as the result of close collaboration in intelligence gathering, investigation and prosecution both locally and internationally. The government of Zambia and the family of the late 60th President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, have started formal talks to resolve a 3-month impasse over the repatriation and burial of the late former head of state. According to a joint press statement signed by the Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, and the late President's family spokesperson, Makebi Zulu, the discussions will be mediated by jointly appointed facilitators with a focus on reconciliation, unity, and respecting the wishes of the late President's family. The announcement emphasizes building trust as a key step towards a mutually agreeable solution and assures the public that updates will be shared in due course. Both parties have urged Zambians to refrain from making statements that could escalate tensions and to continue praying for the former first family and the nation. The Lusaka City Council has arrested 15 people for illegally repackaging water and traditional brews such as munkoyo and chiwantu using discarded bottles along Tokyo Way. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the suspects were found conducting the activity under the guise of recycling in violation of the Public Health Act. She adds that Council Police intercepted the group during an operation earlier today, with authorities warning that such practices pose serious risks to public health and undermine efforts to regulate safe recycling. The Council has further demolished 8 makeshift structures that had been illegally constructed in the same area without planning permission. The arrested suspects are now in police custody and are expected to appear before the fast-track court once processing by the Lusaka Integrated Solid Waste Management Company is completed. The local authority has since urged residents to avoid engaging in unauthorized recycling or trading activities in undesignated areas, warning that routine inspections will continue to enforce public health and planning regulations.
The Lusaka City Council has apprehended 15 individuals involved in the collection of used bottles for illegal and uncertified repackaging of water and traditional brews, commonly known as omunkoyo and chibwantu, under the pretense of recycling initiatives. This happened yesterday when the Council Police intercepted the suspects along Tokyo Way, where they were found conducting illegal recycling activities in contravention of the Public Health Act, Cap 295 of the laws of Zambia. The local authority advises members of the public to refrain from engaging in illegal recycling, especially in undesignated and unauthorized areas, as such activities pose serious risks to public health and violate the established regulations. In addition, the Council Police has demolished 8 illegal makeshift structures erected along the same road, which were constructed without planning permission. The Council remains committed to conducting regular inspections to uphold order and ensure compliance with the Regional and Urban Planning Act and regulations.
Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, says that government will prioritize Zambian-made goods when making purchases under a policy called positive discrimination. He says the move is intended to strengthen local industries, create jobs and reduce the country's dependence on imports. The minister was speaking during the official opening of the 2025 Proudly Zambian Expo with the 40th anniversary of the Zambia Association of Manufacturers, ZAM. He notes that the policy has already made a difference in the pharmaceutical sector, where the supply of essential medicines in public hospitals has improved as government now buys more from local producers. Meanwhile, Zambia Association of Manufacturers President Ashu Saga has welcomed the introduction of Statutory Instrument 45 of 2025, which gives preference to selected local products on the government procurement platform. He said the measure will be especially important for small and medium enterprises, enabling them to expand and play a bigger role in the economy. Chanda Mwango brought in this report.
It was a colorful display of Zambian-made products in Osaka today as producers from across the country came together for the 2025 Proudly Zambian Expo. The event, held alongside the 40th anniversary of the Zambia Association of Manufacturers, showcased everything from food and beverages to pharmaceuticals and textiles, all under the theme of building resilience and driving industrial growth. Officiating at the expo, Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, after touring the stands, said government has introduced a policy of positive discrimination to ensure that Zambian-made goods are given priority in procurement. He said the policy will help small medium enterprises to grow, create more jobs and cut the country's reliance on imports.
And positive discrimination has been implemented and we are buying first from our own. In the pharmaceutical sector, or should I say the health sector, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, we should not forget, by the year 2021, the drug availability in our hospitals was at 37% of essential drugs. With the implementation of positive discrimination, we have seen local pharmaceuticals increase their production of drugs because first, the government is buying from them. And from 2021, we have increased our production of drugs from 37% to 86% of essential drugs availability in our hospitals.
Meanwhile, Zambia Association of Manufacturers ZAM President Ashu Saga described the new statutory instrument number 45 of 2025 as a major boost for local producers. He said the regulation, which gives certain local products special preference in government tenders, will open new opportunities for businesses to scale up and compete effectively.
Your recognition that positive discrimination is going to be a walk the talk initiative, where we're going to try and make sure that government procures products from Zambian industries and also uses the Proudly Zambian campaign as a mechanism to vet those that want to be on that platform. Of note, and I think I want the media to pick up on this, is something that Honourable Minister we have not made enough noise about, I believe, is SI 45 of 2025, which the government recently enacted and allows for certain products to be given preferential treatment on the government procurement platform.
And chairperson of the Proudly Zambian campaign, Kim Otebi, said the expo is not just about showcasing products, but also about changing mindsets. She explained that buying local strengthens the economy, supports entrepreneurship, and builds national pride.
Beyond showcasing products, this expo is also space for dialogue. It allows us to reflect on the challenges facing local industry while also celebrating the progress achieved so far. It reminds us that building an industrialized Zambia requires not just sound policies, but also a mindset shift. A recognition that every kwacha spent on Zambian products fuels job creation, enterprise growth, and national development.
The Proudly Zambian Expo brought together producers, consumers, policymakers, and investors under one roof, highlighting the importance of supporting local industries. Some of the companies were also awarded certificates for their immense contribution to the Zambian economy. Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
President President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed his government's commitment to removing the rigidities inherited from the previous administration, pledging to create an enabling environment for investment and economic growth. The president emphasized that the UPND government was elected to spearhead reforms in key economic sectors such as mining and energy, aiming to unlock Zambia's full potential and strengthen its position in regional and global markets. President Hichilema made the remarks during a courtesy call by the Lusaka Stock Exchange (LUSE) at State House, where he engaged with business leaders on strategies to sustain investor confidence and economic stability. Meanwhile, Lusaka Stock Exchange CEO Nicholas Kabaso highlighted that Zambia is among the best performing markets in Africa, noting that the country has become an attractive destination for investors due to the UPND's government's clear policy direction. He pointed out that the stable monetary policy rate is a strong indicator of the country's economic resilience. President Hichilema encouraged continued collaboration between government and private sector stakeholders, stressing that consistent reforms and sound economic policies are critical to sustaining growth, creating jobs, and boosting Zambia's investment profile.
And one of the declarations we made is that we don't do business in court. We don't do mining in court. We do mine at the sites. And that led not only to staying, but to reinvestment. I think it's a great milestone that we need to put in context as to where we are and why we are where we are. And you all watched when not long ago we were officiating at the S3 project, Consumption Mine, $1.25 billion. If you look at that monstrous investments there, then you understand that we are moving. You go to Lumana and look at Super Pit, a $2 billion investment. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I don't know how many of you have been to these two sites, right? But the message I'm putting on the table is that this government is committed to unlocking rigidities that we inherited. We are firmly, anchored on the fact that we were elected on the platform of reforms. And reforms in different sectors, not only in mines, but of course, the issues around energy. The reforms we've injected in energy have allowed us to survive, even under great difficulty, with the West drought in living memory.
Respects to also how we are appearing in Africa, we must also be able to highlight to you, Your Excellency, that we actually even being paired among the best performing markets in Africa. And that already gives you a lot of indication of just how very strong the momentum has been in the market. So that being said, we must also be able to state that the exchange has actually been able to show quite some increasing amount of investor confidence, mostly coming through from individual investors as well as foreign institutional as well as retail. Now, where are they coming into the market? Part of the reason obviously is the outlook around our economy. The outlook remains quite very positive. We are speaking now north of about 5-6%. That already gives a huge sort of incentive for investors then to come into the market, because now they can be able to get to see that the various sectors that are powering up our economy.
Senanga District Commissioner Zita Sipalo has called on the newly established NGO Forum in Senanga to play a pivotal role in fostering societal development, improving communities, and promoting citizen participation. The call was made during a collaborative meeting between the Western Province NGO Forum and the youth activist organization YAO, which brought together local NGOs to strengthen coordination, enhance collaboration, and maximize the collective impact of development initiatives in the district. Ms. Sipalo emphasized that promoting transparency, accountability, and inclusive democracy is essential for improving the lives of citizens in Senanga. Western Province NGO Forum Chairperson Kelvin Welasani highlighted the importance of all non-governmental organizations working together to support development and complete government efforts to extend progress to all parts of the country.
Western Province Non-Governmental Organization Forum has finally established the Senanga District Non-Governmental Organization Forum to complement government efforts. Officiating at the formation of Senanga Non-Governmental Forum, Senanga District Commissioner Zita Spal says government is committed to unbiased development by fostering decentralization.
Services to our people. Hence the need for NGOs to complement government efforts in its quest to improve the lives of our citizens. We are in a hurry to rebuild the economy for the benefit of our citizens. I therefore call upon NGOs to join us in the provision of basic needs for our citizens. We have demonstrated our commitment to unbiased development by fostering decentralization and allowing communities to actively participate in developing our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the NGO Forum for Senanga District will play a vital role in galvanizing and raising awareness amongst our citizens, particularly women, youths, and persons with disabilities.
And Western Province Provincial Non-Governmental Organization Forum Chairperson Kelvin Wilson emphasized on the importance of networking as a non-governmental organization to foster development in the district.
Us as non-governmental organization in the going forward of our sector when it comes to issues of networking and coordinating in our quest as we continue to do our works in complementing government efforts. However, Senanga as a district, this is to do. We are here specifically under an objective of establishing Senanga Non-Governmental Organization Forum, a family that will be able to interact, a family that will coordinate, a family that will be able to work together to complement government efforts in bringing about that which is much needed in Senanga district.
Mino, newly elected chairperson Muyondari Kezo, has called on the members in Senanga to work together and put Senanga on the map in complementing government efforts in taking development to the rural areas.
So please, let's be together. Let's work hand in hand so that we improve our district. And on that one, everyone who is here is a member. So whenever you get a message or you get something that can improve our NGO here in Senanga, let's work together and put our Senanga on the map.
Davilam Sievo, Camnet News in Senanga District, Western Province.
Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mulenga has reassured stakeholders that Zambia's domestic supply of acid will be prioritized to meet the needs of the country's copper industry before any exports are allowed. He explained that production of acid has slowed temporarily due to major maintenance and overhauls of key copper mines and smelters, some of which had gone for years without servicing critical equipment. These interruptions, he said, have affected the amount of acid available locally, despite high demand both domestically and regionally. Mr. Mulenga emphasized that the government's decision is deliberate, aimed at ensuring that the copper sector, which targets 1 million tons of production this year, continues to operate efficiently. He said local industries must be fully supplied to maintain jobs and safeguard industrial operations. The minister also noted that once production stabilizes and local demand is satisfied, arrangements will be made to determine how much acid can be exported without compromising the domestic market.
I need to put context to this decision that we made as a government. We are not banning because we are inconsistent in our policies, no. We have seen that our production of acid has gone down a little bit while the copper production companies have increased. Remember, Konkola Copper Mines is a company that was run for 7 years without repairing its concentrator. It has got boilers which need to be timelessly serviced within a period of, on a quarterly basis. But it went for 7 years without servicing it. Mopani Copper Mines went for 4 years when they were owned by the government entirely without servicing the concentrator. So they had to now shut down to put the concentrators into a major overhaul, not service, but overhaul replacement of critical components. So this has made the production of acid to slow down a little bit, leaving only these other 3 players of production of acid: Kansanshi, Chambeshi Copper Smelter, and one last player. But the demand for acid for the copper production in our country has increased. Remember, our target this year is to hit 1 million tons of copper. But we cannot process our copper if we lack acid. I know the desire and the appetite for acid in the region is very high. And the price you find that in its export is far higher than what is on the domestic market. But it is important that we first saturate local market before we think of externalizing it.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We'll now take a set of commercials. I will be back with some international stories as well as sports news. Keep watching.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. In international news, the Ukrainian government has announced plans to ban a branch of the Orthodox Church, saying it has failed to fully serve its historical ties with Moscow despite repeated warnings. The move targets the Ukrainian Orthodox Church UOC, one of the 2 rival branches of Orthodox in the country, and comes a year after Parliament passed a law banning the Moscow-based Russian Orthodox Church for supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The legislation also authorized sanctions against any organization linked to the Russian Church, although the UOC condemned Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 and declared independence from Moscow the same year, a position it reaffirmed in 2025. The government argues it has not taken sufficient steps to prove its separation. Here is a roundup of international news.
The Ukrainian government has declared that a branch of the Orthodox Church has failed to service long-standing ties with Moscow and could soon be banned. The looming ban affects one of the two rival branches of Orthodoxy in the country and further underscores the turbulent role of religion as Ukraine fends off the Russian invasion. The action comes a year after the Ukrainian parliament passed a law banning the Moscow-based Russian Orthodox Church due to its strong support of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The law also authorizing banning any organization tied to the Russian Church. A government investigation into the Ukrainian Orthodox Church with its centuries-old ties to Moscow soon followed. Under the law, some Ukraine Orthodox Church congregations could also find themselves barred from using property they don't own, a significant issue in a country where the state owns and leases out many historic church sites.
After years of instability and collapse, the Central African Republic is scrambling to rebuild its armed forces, and Uganda has stepped in to help. On Thursday, a batch of new recruits departed Bangi's Mpoko Airport for Kampala for training. For 6 months, these young soldiers will be trained in intelligence gathering and in combating rebel threats. An agreement was signed between the Central African Republic and the Republic of Uganda, focused on an essential point: training. Training slots have been granted by this brotherly country for the benefit of the Central African Republic to train 1,800 young Central Africans as second-class soldiers.
Pour former 1,800 jeunes centrafricains comme soldats de deuxième classe.
The training will be conducted over the next 2 years. The recruits are drawn from all 7 regions of the country. The government aims to avoid the sectarian divisions and ideological lapses that plagued previous national armies. Uganda has previously trained South Sudanese and Somali forces. They will receive more than 6 months of training, focused on basic training with all weapons. This is the foundation of today's military. In terms of numbers, the growth of the Central African Armed Forces is significant. I believe 1,800 is not negligible. It already represents remarkable progress for our army. After multiple political and security crises weakened the Central African Army, the General Staff aims to rebuild its forces through Uganda and its military academy in Kampala, while still relying heavily on Russian support. This also means that Bungi is diversifying its security partnerships, while also preparing for possible departure of United Nations peacekeepers.
Nigeria's 650,000 barrel per day Dangote refinery's petrol unit may have to remain offline for 2 to 3 months, which could lead to a tighter market. It was shut down on the 29th of August following catalyst leaks and is due to restart on the 20th of September. But industry monitor IIR Energy says major repairs and equipment replacement could keep the gasoline unit shut for months. Since it began processing crude oil in January last year, the refinery has reshaped global gasoline trade flows, reducing imports from the European Union and the United Kingdom. A report earlier this week also noted a surge in petrol exports from the Dangote refinery, coinciding with partial or complete shutdowns of units in the Middle East. One trader says the news of a possible longer shutdown will further tighten what is already a strong market.
Polo midfielder Kings KANGWA has called on Zambians to rally behind the national team as they prepare to face Morocco in a crucial international fixture on Monday, 8th September for the World Cup qualifier. KANGWA says the players are determined to give their best performance and assured fans that he personally would bring his A-game to help the team secure a positive result. He emphasized that strong home and diaspora support would lift the morale of the squad as they battle one of Africa's top sides. The midfielder expressed confidence in the team's preparations and spirit, saying the Chipolopolo are ready to match Morocco's quality with hard work discipline and determination on the pitch. Meanwhile, fellow Polo player David Hamasanya echoed the same message, urging Zambians not to hold back their support for the national team.
Difficult game, very exciting game. This is the game we are looking forward. We are ready, we are doing everything, and we can't wait for Monday. So far so good, very hot, but we are getting used. And it's very difficult. It's been difficult for our team, but like I said, we are trying everything. So please stick with us, stay with us, and we're waiting for you. So please come to give us support, and we'll do our best. Of course, I'm doing my best. This is my plan, obviously, to try by all means to be there, to take the same motivation, the same preparation to bring it here also. And I think I'm in good shape, and I will do my best to try to help the team.
I received it well. I was very excited when I heard the news that I've been called up to the national team. The senior national team, I was very excited. They've welcomed us nicely. They told us to be confident, not to be afraid of making mistakes, and be comfortable among them. We appreciate for this wonderful opportunity, and we'll make sure to utilize the opportunities that we have now. So we'll make sure to do our best. Just have to work together, just have to work as a team, and to move as a team, and everything will go well. Going to the match will be very tough. It won't be an easy game. Looking at Morocco, the way they played the World Cup, I think it will be a nice game. It will be a tough one. They should come in numbers to come and support us. We want them to be behind us because they'll boost our morale.
That's it for our main news tonight. Here is a recap of the stories making headlines. 19-year-old teen kills father over phone charger, flees home. DEC continues investigations after MALANJI YAMBA convictions, says higher-profile people may also be linked to the case. Government and family of late President Lungu begin formal discussions to resolve burial impasse. In international news, Ukraine moves to ban Orthodox Church over Moscow ties. In sports news, KANGWA rallies fans ahead of Morocco clash. We now look at Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of John 3, verse 27. John answered and said, "A man can receive nothing except it be given from above." Remember, you have been watching us live on Topstar channel 106 on Kenstream app, on Facebook Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel Camnet TV. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you all.